On the way.
Yes, much nicer than it was early this morning. We had some clouds and even a little bit of patchy fog, but things have cleared up nicely and temperatures are climbing into the 70s. And it will be another comfortable day, but you may notice starting today, slightly higher humidity that will carry us through to the weekend and then some changes by early next week. But for now, let's see what we've got going on across Bexar County. 76 already at Stinson, 72 at Kelly, and 71 at the airport. We'll see our afternoon highs jump into the mid to upper 70s across most of the area. As you can see here on our satellite picture, low morning clouds cleared up and we've got some fair weather, puffy clouds that have popped up now. 73 in Hondo, and again a bit warmer down to the south, already 78 Pleasanton, 70 currently at Bernie Stage. And again, our temperatures across the area south of Highway 90, upper 70s, low 80s, along and north of Highway 90, closer to the mid 70s this afternoon. 72 right now in Del Rio and 73 in New Braunfels. So we'll gradually continue to trend a little warmer and also a little more humid through the weekend. That will lead to some rounds of morning fog and drizzle over the next few days, essentially for the next 3 mornings. And then by early next week, early Monday morning, we've got our next cold front and our next chance of rain. It won't be all the rain we need, but at least it's a little something. We'll talk about all that and much more coming up in the full forecast, guys.
Thank you, Katie. A little something better than no rain at all. All right, 2 moves that were wrong have led to one man's death along Interstate 35 near Live Oak. Police are saying that a man's motorcycle collided with a car when both of the drivers tried to merge into the same lane. That crash happened on the highway during the morning commute near Topperwine Road. But as Katrina Weber reports, those wrong moves stopped a lot of other drivers in their tracks for hours.
From TransGuide cameras, there were signs of trouble, flashing lights in the middle of northbound Interstate 35 near Topperwine Road. From the ground, the view only got worse. A Bexar County medical examiner's van arriving and a traffic backup stretching about 5 miles.
That's terrible, so as soon as I found out about that, I hope everything's okay for the family and all that. That's terrible news.
Geronimo Villarreal could tell something was wrong the moment he hit I-35 from Loop 410, and his feelings were confirmed when he stopped off for gas. Live Oak police say a deadly crash caused the traffic troubles. A man on a motorcycle hit by a car. Police say it happened just before 7 this morning as both vehicles headed toward the same lane in front of an 18-wheeler. They say the car hit the motorcycle from behind. With the highway shut down for the investigation, other drivers found themselves behind schedule. Some sat in traffic more than an hour.
It's been a little rough. It's been a long drive. I had to fuel up.
Still, Villarreal kept his spirits up.
Just listen to the radio, listen to podcasts.
It took nearly 3 hours for the road to reopen. The case, though, is far from closed. Police say that this crash is still under investigation, and it's too early to tell if any charges will be filed. Reporting from Live Oak, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Noon, a fight over a dog led to a stabbing on the southwest side. That's according to San Antonio police. Police said they found a man with several stab wounds in the 4000 block of Southwest Military Drive late last night, not far from Pearsall Park. Officers say he told him that he got into an argument with a woman about her dog, and at some point things turned violent. She stabbed him multiple times. Then she ran off. Police were able to identify the woman and found her at her home. Officers took her into custody. It's not clear what charges she will be facing, if any.
At long last, the city of San Antonio and police union negotiators have hammered out a new police contract. The city is saying, though, the deal will make it harder for fired officers to win their jobs back. That contract limits how much power an arbitrator has to reinstate fired officers, extends how long the chief has to discipline officers for misconduct, and removes the limits on using prior discipline to justify a new suspension. Meanwhile, officers are going to get compensated via their paychecks. They're going to get a lump sum payment at the start, then 15% worth of permanent pay bumps over the next 4.5 years of the contract. To make it official, the police union still has to vote on it, and then the city council has to give its final approval.
And today, the city council is set to vote on the fate of the Grand Hyatt Hotel. That's the one near the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. The private hotel was built on city-owned property, but the pandemic left the city footing some of the Hyatt's debt payments. So now it is considering a deal that would get it clear from that obligation and ultimately transfer the hotel over to the city. Through this proposed deal, the city would be paid more than $15 million to cover the back rent it's owed and the debt payments it made. And it would be freed up from covering any future payments. Plus, the new owner, a nonprofit out of Arizona, would eventually hand the hotel over to the city. Still to come this half hour, Spurs Keldon Johnson off to a new adventure, experiencing what it's like to fly one of those big birds. In a few minutes in sports.
Spring break is nearly upon us, and some folks may be planning a big trip. What to keep in mind if you're heading to the airport in the next couple of weeks after the break.
Seems early, but spring break is nearly here. Over the next couple of weeks, students from all over the city will be off from school. The first students kick off their break on Monday.
And San Antonio International Airport gearing up for a potential influx of travelers. TSA officials say people do need to plan ahead and get to the airport early. Especially important to give yourself extra time if you're heading out early in the day, and that's because when San Antonio International Airport sees the most traffic. If you haven't been on a plane in a while, what shouldn't you pack on your carry-on bag?
So liquids are a big thing. A lot of people like to travel with hair products, with perfumes, things like that. Just a reminder that if you can spill it, spread it, pour it, or pump it, 3.4 ounces in your carry-on luggage. Full-size items can be in your checked luggage, but when you're talking about carry-on, 3.4 ounces. That includes food, so think about it in a way that you can bring as many avocados as you want. Once they become guacamole, 3.4 ounces.
Wow.
That's one way to think about it.
3.4 ounces, though, that's very few chips with the guacamole. TSA officials all want to remind you that the mask mandate is still in place, so you'll have to wear a mask if you're planning on a trip. And you mentioned all these people coming to San Antonio. They might be going to SeaWorld to experience a new ride, and we have a ride expert right here on the staff.
Did you do the ride, Katie?
Sarah Spivey and I, yes, we did it yesterday.
Did you scream super loud?
I didn't scream at all. I was scared silent.
Oh, wow.
I was just hoping it would be over. It was quite intense, but there's a video somewhere that will probably be on social media at some point over the next few days, so you'll just have to keep your eyes peeled.
Better you than me.
It was a doozy, the tidal surge. So, if you're heading out there in the next couple weeks, you'll want to check that one out. I bet the line will be quite long. All right, the aquifer today, lack of recent rains. It continues to tumble. It's down a little bit more than half a foot. And a laundry list of allergens today, including mold and oak. But thankfully, everything is in the low category. We'll take an early look at your spring break forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
You'd think Katie Blake would have plenty of practice on roller coasters and fast move with the way the weather has been lately.
Oh, yeah.
See how I did that?
That's good.
You should be seasoned for that ride at SeaWorld.
A lot of
And she's never scared silent when she's doing the weather, though.
Never.
No. I guess,
Always has something to say.
I guess that's a good thing, right? Otherwise, it'd be hard to give the forecast. Yeah, that ride, woo, something else. I bet they're going to be busy with that new attraction over spring break. Speaking of spring break, if your plans take you down to the coast next week, here's a quick look at the forecast for Monday through Wednesday. We'll start off the week down by the coast with a chance of rain thanks to a cold front moving through, and that front will drop afternoon highs even down near the water into the 60s. So first week of spring break is looking like it's going to be a little on the cooler side there. We'll talk more about that front shortly. First look at today's time lapse. We started off fairly gray this morning, morning clouds, even a little bit of patchy fog here or there, but things have cleared up nicely. We're sitting under mostly sunny skies currently, and temperatures are climbing into the 70s. Calm winds. Humidity is not too bad, but our dew point numbers are steadily starting to climb. So you may notice this afternoon warm and just a little more humid, but not a bad day by any means. Look for a high around San Antonio, right around 76, mid to upper 70s, low 80s possible south of Highway 90. Mostly clear skies this evening, and then as we get closer to midnight, temperatures falling into the 60s and low clouds redeveloping because of the increase in humidity that's underway. Already 78 in Pleasanton, 75 in Cotulla, and 70 in Fredericksburg. Our dew point numbers at first glance, they're pretty good. Everyone with the exception of Laredo is in the 50s, so that's still in pleasant territory. And again, even if you step outside right now, it doesn't feel uncomfortable or overly muggy, but compared to this time yesterday, our dew point numbers in most spots are up 10, even close to 20 degrees, and these numbers are climbing as we speak. So compared to this time yesterday, Uvalde, your dew point is up 17 degrees, and in Fredericksburg, it's up 18 degrees. So those numbers are starting to climb, and that trend will continue all the way through the weekend. So we'll continue to see our dew point steadily rise into the upper 50s and low 60s, so getting into that muggy range by the weekend. That will contribute to some rounds of morning fog and drizzle really over the next 3 mornings, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then early next week, our next front arrives with a chance of rain. Talk a little bit about that as well. And then humidity falls once again through the early part of next week. It'll be cooler next week as well. So with higher humidity next few days, the weekend could feel pretty gray at times, especially in the mornings. We'll start off overcast with some morning drizzle, and then each afternoon, a little bit of clearing is likely to warm us up into the upper 70s and low 80s both Saturday and Sunday before that front comes through on Monday. So let's chat about this quickly. This is Sunday night, 10 p.m. Front is still off to our northwest. This is expected to arrive right around dawn on Monday, so early in the day, with likely a broken line of rain with it, and then it will clear out nicely by Monday afternoon. So our window for rain is going to be pretty brief. So unfortunately, any rain that we do see is not going to add up to much at all. And unfortunately, over the next 5 days, our rainfall outlook is quite grim, with likely less than 1/10 of an inch of rain in most spots. Early Monday, with that broken line of rain coming through, a few lucky yards could see a little bit more than that. But because it's going to be such a brief window, we won't get to pick up very much rain at all over the next 5 days and really over the next 7 days. So notice early next week, start of spring break for some of our kiddos, it will be trending cooler than average with highs in the 60s. So I think that's kind of good news. A little something for everyone warm this weekend and then a little cooler next week.
Thank you, Katie.
Speaking of roller coasters, the Spurs are on kind of a roller coaster, except their highs are not as low as the lows, it seems.
Yeah, and they got to probably stay high for a while because they got 20 games to go left in the regular season. And we all know Spurs are trying to grab one of those play-in spots, and that begins again tonight when they're at home for the first time in a long time to take on the Kings. And speaking of the Kings, well, they played at the Pelicans last night. So, yeah, it's a back-to-back games for Sacramento coming up.
It's definitely a blast. You know, it's something that I would definitely want to do again and experience again. But I think, I mean, this is amazing. I think I wouldn't want to do anything else with my day. And other than come here and meet so many nice people, give back, and also have fun and learn so many different things.
Spurs' Keldon Johnson got to check out a C-5M Super Galaxy aircraft at JBSA Lackland on Spurs game day. Spurs will play at home tonight against the Sacramento Kings, our first home game since Friday, February 4th, when they beat the Houston Rockets 131-106. It's been nearly a month since they last played at the AT&T Center. The Spurs start the day 12th in the Western Conference, 2 games out of the final play-in spot, currently held by the New Orleans Pelicans. The Spurs have 20 regular season games to go to clinch a play-in berth.
I think we're aware of it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything about our approach to the game. So at the end of the season, it might come down to a couple games here or there, so we got to be really focused. But yeah, we're going into the games with the same mentality.
With a win tonight, Coach Pop would tie Don Nelson for the most regular season wins in NBA history at 1,335. That's a cool record for sure, but from the sound of it, it's one DeJounte Murray is a little tired of talking about.
I mean, I already talked about that before, so I mean, I don't want to keep beating on it. Obviously, we care about it. You know, he's a great coach, but I mean, you guys been around him enough to know he doesn't like the praise and all that stuff. So, you know, we're gonna keep working hard and try to get better, and you know, get the win for him sooner or later, and just get it out the way.
Here's the matchup. Kings at the Spurs tonight at 7:30. The Spurs are favored by 6.5 points. Now, the Kings come to town after playing at New Orleans last night, where they lost to the Pelicans 125-95. Brandon Ingram scored 33 points and lead the Pels to their third straight win. And Spurs Keldon Johnson visited Joint Base San Antonio Lackland yesterday, where he was named an honorary member of the 433rd Airlift Wing, also known as the Alamo Wing. This was all arranged by USAA ahead of next week's Military Appreciation Night. The Olympic gold medalist received a flight jacket and got the tour of the wing, where he greeted servicemen and women and signed autographs. He also got a tour of one of those huge C-5M Galaxies and a flight in the C-5M simulator.
It's so crazy because, I mean, you see them all the time, but now, like, it kind of hit different because I done been in a big airplane and, you know, experienced it and had some fun.
It's our way, really, of giving back to the community and our way to show that we can honor the military community. It brings awareness also to the Air Force, to the NBA crowd as a whole, and also the general public.
It was amazing. I think, I mean, the jacket, the coins, the patches, it was all amazing. I feel like I'll probably wear this jacket probably one more time, and I think I'm gonna put everything in the case just for memories, man.
That's pretty cool. You know, those
pretty cool
C5s are so big, they just about could hold a basketball court in that thing. So he could, you know.
The simulator looked pretty amazing when he was in it. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. That's a big jet.
You're gonna have a career change. A recall involving baby formula now expanding, plus both the CDC and the FDA are investigating whether those products had anything to do with an infant's death.
And a group of attorneys general are investigating TikTok's impact on young Americans, what those 8 states are worried about.
A guilty plea in connection with the January 6th investigation. A member of the so-called Oath Keepers now saying that he and others were instructed to be prepared if called upon to surround the White House to prevent President Trump from being removed from office, unquote. Meantime, the January 6th committee now claims there's evidence that former President Trump engaged in a criminal conspiracy. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
The House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot says they may have evidence to show former President Donald Trump broke the law in his efforts to overturn the 2020 election, the first time lawmakers are outlining a possible criminal case against him. This after Trump's former lawyer John Eastman sued to block the committee from obtaining thousands of emails citing attorney-client privilege. The committee challenged Eastman in court, saying that privilege does not apply because they privately discussed preventing a peaceful transfer of power, and that evidence shows Trump and members of his campaign engaged in a criminal conspiracy to defraud the United States. Meantime, Joshua James, a member of the Oath Keepers extremist group, is now the first to plead guilty to seditious conspiracy for his role in the riot.
James's plea is arguably, I would say, one of the most significant convictions that the Justice Department has secured in their entire investigation.
According to court documents, James admitted he was instructed to be prepared if called upon to report to the White House grounds to secure the perimeter and use lethal force if necessary against anyone who tried to remove President Trump from the White House. 10 other Oath Keepers also face charges of seditious conspiracy. They've pleaded not guilty, including the group's founder, Stuart Rhodes. James told prosecutors Rhodes texted him weeks before the riot, saying it will be a bloody and desperate fight.
What Joshua James is saying as a part of his plea deal is directly implicating every single other member of this charged conspiracy. And it essentially goes on to say that one member of this plot believes that the Justice Department has made its effective case.
And back to former President Trump, he has not yet commented on the committee's allegations. A lawyer for John Eastman says he looks forward to responding. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Parents of 216 children separated from their families at the U.S.-Mexico border during President Trump's term still have not been found. This week, a federal court filing aimed to provide a progress report on the federal government's pledge to reunite families. It says so far 125 children have rejoined their parents. According to a November court filing, more than 3,000 children were separated from their families at the border under the Trump administration.
8 different states are set to investigate TikTok's impact on young Americans. A group of state attorneys general say they want to take a look at what the app is doing to keep users so engaged, and the social media app also potentially posing some mental health risks. Investigators want to determine whether any of TikTok's practices may go against state consumer protection laws. TikTok said it limits its features by age, provides tools and resources to parents, and that it designs its policies with the well-being of young people in mind. By the way, Texas is not one of the states participating.
A nationwide baby formula recall is growing, and now the CDC and FDA are investigating whether a powdered infant formula made by Abbott Nutrition could have contributed to the cause of death of an infant. On Monday, the FDA announced a second infant died after reportedly consuming Similac PM6040 and contracting a bacterial infection. Now Abbott Nutrition is voluntarily adding Similac PM, both cans and cases, to its recall list. The company hadn't added the product to a recall list because it says no distributed product has tested positive for the presence of bacteria that caused the infection. The previous recall involved certain lots of Similac, Alimentum, and Elecare formulas. For more information on how to identify the recalled products, all you have to do is go to similacrecall.com.
Two Swedish companies, IKEA and H&M, temporarily pausing their operations in Russia in response to the invasion of Ukraine. IKEA, the world's largest furniture company, closing its 17 stores in Russia. Meanwhile, H&M temporarily closing 168 stores there. IKEA also pausing manufacturing in Russia, as well as trade with Russia and its ally, Belarus. The company also said it's donating $22 million for humanitarian aid to those who have been forcibly displaced.
Outside with Live Cam, we're getting up there with some warmth towards the end of the week, and then we'll have some cold at the beginning of the week, and then some more warm, and it's like...
It's like being on a ride at SeaWorld.
It sure is sometimes. Yeah, a little something for everybody. And hey, I don't want to complain about it being a little cooler next week, because before we know it, it'll just be hot all the time, right? So we'll take these cold fronts while we can get them. And we'll talk more about next week's front in the full forecast in just a bit. First, check out the morning low temperatures today. Our average here in San Antonio, 49. That's right where we landed this morning at the airport. Some low 50s across the hill country. Not quite as cold as it's been the past few mornings, thanks to some additional clouds and slightly higher humidity. Currently sitting in the 70s across the board, feeling really nice out there. And it is going to be another pleasant day here in San Antonio. Look for a high temperature around 76 this afternoon. Some spots south of Highway 90 sneaking into the low 80s over the next few hours. But mostly sunny skies and just a little bit more humidity today. And we'll see the humidity continue to trickle in over the next few days. That'll lead to some gray mornings this weekend, but then changes early next week to start spring break for some kiddos with the front on Monday morning. We'll talk more about that front. I've also got the very latest drought monitor for you coming up in just a little bit. That was updated today, so I'll show you the very latest coming up in just a little bit, guys.
Thank you, Katie. The Aggies pulled off a huge upset in the SEC last night. Larry Mears with highlights on the way.
Batman fans may have to shell out a few extra bucks if they want to see the Caped Crusader in theaters. It's a new deal. We'll explain why after the break.
Some of you might remember trading Pokemon cards when you were children. Well, now some adults are taking it to another level, paying thousands of dollars for those collectibles.
This year, mint condition vintage gaming cards. There was one of them just sold for $900,000. Take a look at it. The card is a holographic Illustrator Pikachu card. It was created in 1998. It was released only in Japan. And there were more than 30 other offers on this card, but an unknown bidder won out in the end, shattering the former record.
Wished I got into Pokemon now. It's now the highest priced Pokemon card ever sold.
So from pricey cards to pricey tickets, AMC Theaters charging more for the new Batman movie than any other films playing at the same theater at the same time.
For example, Entertainment Weekly reports that tickets for the Batman cost $1.50 more at a Los Angeles AMC. The magazine described it as a pricing experiment. The chain's CEO, Adam Aron, made the announcement Tuesday. He said variable pricing for movies is a new concept in the U.S.
However, AMC's been doing this price change thing in Europe for years now.
Adam McKay, the filmmaker behind Vice, The Big Short, and Don't Look Up, is back with a series about an iconic sports franchise.
The 10-part limited series set to premiere on Sunday on HBO. CNN's David Daniel has a closer look.
I don't care who you are. If you're a human being with two eyes and a heart, this game, this industry makes you feel good.
What industry? Sweat socks?
No, show business.
The time of winning time is 1979, when the LA Lakers became the talk of basketball with the arrival of a new owner, Jerry Buss, and a new star.
Los Angeles Lakers select Magic Johnson.
For me, with the basketball stuff, the bigger thing than getting it like just right was getting the spirit just right, and just that nature that he plays with, and the infectious joy that he brings when he's on the court.
Every team's got fans. We'll have celebrities. Our girls, they won't cheer. They'll dance.
Cast members remember the era vividly.
I was there. I watched these games, but they didn't invite me to come and sit on the court side. I didn't get any of that.
Kareem's autobiography, Giant Steps, is one of the first books I read. So you're talking to a literal lifelong fan of his.
Come on, Red. You afraid of competition?
No, but you're no competitor.
My father was a huge Celtics fan and used to preach the gospel of Red Auerbach. He said, see that? That's Red Auerbach. You see him smoking the stogie, that guy? And he would just go off about him.
We've got a shot here to win it all. You know how rare that is?
Series star John C. Reilly says he connected with Buss's positive attitude and trust in people.
If it seems like a good idea and your instinct is telling you this person can do great things, then go ahead and trust them, because just by trusting them, you often create great things. I want to build something special, a real dynasty.
Far out, man.
It's showtime.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I don't care who you are.
Did he sell you?
Very interesting. I mean, you know, a lot of Spur fans don't like Lakers, but that might be a movie worth watching. That looks pretty good.
That looks like anybody that really likes sports would probably like that.
So,
yeah, this weekend, HBO just cranking them out, man.
And you guys get your purple on too. So,
Oh boy, that's a coincidence.
It's Mardi Gras week.
There you go.
One way to look at it, and
that's what it
Lent
is.
has begun.
That's what it is.
There you go.
Checking on the aquifer today, down a little bit more than half a foot to 660.3. And in your pollen count, you may have noticed we've got 5 allergens, but thankfully everything, including oak, is low on this Thursday. We'll take another look at your forecast heading into spring break coming up next.
All right, we're ready for the weekend. All kinds of activities outside, but a little drizzly in the mornings, huh?
Yes, our mornings are going to be really gray over the next few days, and then once we get past lunchtime, any drizzle or fog will go away, and we'll see some clearing. That'll leave us with some warm afternoons here over the next few days. I promised you to look at the latest drought monitor, and here it is. We're going to start looking back, though. 3 months ago this week, that was end of November, about half the state was in drought. That's not great, but things have only gotten worse. And this week, 81% of Texas is in drought. Anywhere you see that bright red, those are the worst drought conditions. So extreme drought, with exceptional here being the very worst. So we've got a lot of that bright red across the state, including here at home. And this area of extreme drought has expanded slightly over the past couple of weeks. Now includes southern Maverick County, LaSalle, Dimmitt, and McMullen counties, also starting to encroach on Live Oak, and even southern Atascosa counties there, also down to Laredo. So really the whole area needs some rain, with the exception of the I-35 corridor up to Austin. Otherwise, the whole area really could use some rain. And I hate to say it, but our rainfall outlook over the next 5 to 7 days is not good. Over the next 5 days, some spots maybe less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. A few lucky yards could possibly see a little bit more than that. And that's going to come early on Monday morning with the passage of our next cold front. This will bring some rain. This looks like a lot of rain here, but it's going to come in such a short window that it's not going to add up to much at all. Nonetheless, we do expect a broken line of rain early Monday with our next cold front, with things drying out and cooling down a bit by Monday afternoon. So next few afternoons, especially through the weekend, upper 70s, low 80s. Our average high this time of year is 71. So we'll be pushing about 10 degrees above average this weekend. And then next week, a little bit closer to 10 degrees below average. Behind Monday's front, our afternoon highs will dip into the 60s for a couple of days next week. So for those that have spring break next week, it'll be a little cool, but again, I think better than it being way too hot, right? That's what we'll tell ourselves for now. Mostly sunny out there, currently 71 at the airport, 73 in Beeville, and 72 in Del Rio. Winds are nice and light. They have become southeasterly today. Wind direction this morning was variable, but now we're picking up a more southerly wind here, and that's going to help to continue to nudge our dew point numbers up. Currently, they're looking pretty good. We do have some spots a little bit closer down to the Gulf of Mexico and even Laredo, jumping into the low 60s. Everyone else, though, 40s and 50s, so it still feels nice outside, but our dew point numbers are climbing, and they'll continue to rise through the weekend, such that it'll start to feel a bit more muggy out there over the next few days, especially in the mornings. But by Monday, with that cold front, our humidity will fall again into next week, setting us up for some nice, cooler, drier days to start spring break. So not looking too bad there. For the rest of your Thursday, look for a high around 76 here in San Antonio. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few spots in the low 80s, well south of Highway 90. The clouds build back in overnight, and we'll start off your Friday with cloudy skies, fog, and drizzle. But we'll clear up tomorrow afternoon and then wash, rinse, repeat all the way through the weekend, with things clearing out and turning a little cooler by Monday, guys.
You doing laundry this weekend or what?
It's going to feel like it.
Wash, rinse, repeat? Just checking. Never know. So this is going to wash, rinse, repeat. Need a win. Let's get this thing over with on this Pop deal, huh?
Yeah, let's get the win out of the way, because I think the Spurs are tired of talking about, Pop becoming the all-time winningest coach in the regular season. But at the same time, the Spurs need a win against the Kings, because both are fighting to get into one of the final play-in spots. And Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy addresses those Sean Payton rumors coming up.
It's time for us to lock in and take care of business the second half of the season. You know, it's the home stretch. We got like 20-some games left, and we're ready to go. I feel like we all locked in from top to bottom. So we can go out there, execute, and do what we got to do. And I think if we do those things, we'll have our best chance to win.
Keldon Johnson and the Spurs have 20 games left in the regular season on Spurs Game Day. Back at home for the first time in nearly a month, the Spurs will host the Sacramento Kings tonight. The Kings lost at the Pelicans 125-95 last night. Both the Kings and Spurs are fighting for a play-in spot, so this is a key game for both squads.
Yeah, tonight, we just obviously they got, the Sabonis and Fox and Barnes, and those are probably like the three guys we got to really focus on, and so try to contain those guys and make it rough for them. But again, we just got to play our game. We got to continue to build on what we've been doing. We had a good road trip as far as we were in pretty much every game, and we got to continue to build on that. So we got to keep that momentum going and continue to be aggressive, to get better defensively. And tonight's another step toward, again, getting better.
Here's the matchup. Spurs will host the Kings tonight at 7:30. In men's college basketball, unranked Texas A&M went on the road and shocked number 25 Alabama 87-71 last night. The Aggies' Quentin Jackson scored a game-high 28 points. A&M led by 3 at halftime. Then they pulled away in the second half, outscoring the Crimson Tide 51-31. And the Aggies have now won 3 straight.
Pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys have already revealed that quarterback Dak Prescott underwent off-season surgery on his non-throwing shoulder, and he should be fine for the team's offseason program. That said, what about the speculation that Sean Payton, who resigned as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, is waiting to take over if Mike McCarthy should stumble to start off the 2022 season? Payton was a Cowboys former assistant head coach and quarterbacks coach under Bill Parcells from 2003 to 2005, and is now being courted by several TV networks about working as an NFL analyst. Mike McCarthy addressed those rumors during the NFL Combine in Indianapolis.
I mean, it's a narrative I don't want to be a part of. I don't think anybody want to be part of it on either side of the fence. You know, in fairness to Sean, he's being asked the questions, but, you know, nothing good comes out of that. But I think you do need to understand that I get to spend a lot of time with Jerry, you know, both as the owner and as the GM. So in our conversations, you know, when we talk about the partnership between a head coach and a GM, you know, those are the conversations him and I have. So the strength of the partnership, what's in front of us, you know, short-term plan, long-term plan. Obviously, we got some big decisions here to make with our roster, all those things. So, I mean, he addressed it. You know, we laughed about it and moved on.
Being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys has to be no fun at times.
It's got to be one of the hardest jobs in sports.
Indeed.
If not the hardest.
Yep.
So, all right.
And speaking of hard jobs, Fiona, you're carrying the load all by yourself today.
That's right. And you know what? Today is all about celebrating on SA Live. And we start the celebrations with some beer. Yes, we've got Greg Spickler, brewmaster at the Alamo Beer Company with us. And you're going to talk about some of the new brews, give us a little lesson in lager, right? And Lent is underway. And you have an idea for folks who may not be giving up alcohol, right?
That's right. You know, seafood's real popular around this time. So what do you think of when you think about seafood? White wine. Well, we brewed a Berliner Weiss style beer, light and tart. We fermented it with some Gewürztraminer grapes, aged in Pinot Noir barrels, and then dry hopped it with New Zealand hops. So it is the perfect beer to drink with the grilled fish or some grilled shrimp.
And we're going to learn a little more in just a bit.
If I had to break 1,000 hearts, I would have broke them. I'd say goodbye to everyone. I would have told them now there's not.
It's over at Las Palapas celebrating.
We are here at Las Palapas, and it's a big birthday celebration. We're at the 1604 and 281 location. I have Samantha Martinez, franchise owner here. And how are you guys celebrating the 1-year birthday?
We have a ton of great deals for our customers, Jen.
And one of those, go ahead, you got one too.
One of those is our $1.99 margarita.
$1.99, and that starts next week?
Monday.
All right, on Monday. Cheers to that. There's more deals, but you got to stick around to watch and find out. Cheers.
All right, and of course, it's Jamaican recipes with new twists. The Jerk Shack is making a jerk recipe out of a fruit, and they're going to talk about their newest location, and they're making, of course, again, Jamaican inspired chicken and other Caribbean inspired cuisine. And we want to know, you know, you may be listening to a song, so if you had to hear the last song you heard over and over for the rest of your life, which song would it be? Let us know at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll see which ones come to mind. I don't even want to, I already know what mine is. All right, all that and more when SA Live continues in just a few minutes.
All right, with humidity continuing to build in over the next several days, we'll have some morning fog, drizzle, overall kind of dampness through the weekend. And then a front early Monday will bring us a brief window for some showers. Then we clear out. And for some folks, first week of spring break or spring break itself will be a little bit cooler with highs in the 60s by Tuesday, guys.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Thanks, Katie.
This is what's so great about SA Live. I had to look up what jerk chicken was because I didn't know. And you had it. You knew it was some kind of spices or something. But
right.
I had no idea.
Slow cooked.
Yeah, so now we got really going to watch now to see what they do with this.
Especially with vegetables.
Yeah, sounds good. SA Live starts right.
It's fruit, not vegetables. I wasn't paying attention well. Now.
Today on SA Live, we are bringing nature home to spruce up your living space. It's an all-new happy space. Plus, eat your favorite Mexican dishes at Las Palapas for great prices. And it's Caribbean cuisine with an unexpected twist. We try jerk jackfruit today.
celebrate San Antonio. Coming to you live from historic Market Square. This is SA Live.
I'm Austin Gillum, and you're watching SA Live.
Oh, hello and happy Thursday. We're going to hear a bit more from Austin Gillum a little bit later. Good afternoon. I'm Fiona Gorsiza, hosting solo today. Mike Osterhage has the day off, and our first guest is here to help us celebrate an anniversary event that will leave you hoppy this weekend. Greg Spickler, brewmaster at the Alamo Beer Company, joins me with some new brews. All right, the party just travels with you, right, Greg?
That's right. Trying to take it anywhere we go.
So before we talk about the event you've got going on this weekend, let's help folks who may not know a whole lot about beer, get a little bit of an education, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so you brought a few things for us to compare.
We did. Well, one of the great things we do here at Alamo is we make beer that's approachable, easy drinking.
So like the Mike Osterhage of beers.
That's
like
right.
Approachable.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with our Golden Ale. It's a light crisp. It's a cream ale, easy drinking. This was the beer that we developed to be just approachable to everyone. Summertime, drink a few of them back. Light crisp.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right.
Goes good with, it could go to the salad, could go to the grilled chicken, fish. It's really just an easy drinking, light summer beer.
It's a great starter.
Anytime beer.
Great starter beer.
Right.
A great starter beer.
Right.
Okay. All right. Then we've got the next one.
Moving on down the line, our Davy Bucket. This is a lager. Lager is going to be a little bit lighter and crisper, just naturally. We're using a little bit of Vienna malt in this, so you get a slight kind of roasty, almost caramelly note, but still also light, clean, easy drinking. Great patio pounder.
Also good. Okay. They might get better looking here in a little bit also. All right. Okay, then.
All right. So one of our next most popular beers is the Amber Lager. Amber Lager is going to be a lager beer, so light crisp. But we have a lot of that Vienna malt in this one, so giving it a heavy, roasty, almost caramelly kind of flavor. Now this one is the barbecue beer, right? So I use this one to brine my ale pastrami in. We use this to, anytime we actually have some smoked salmon on the menu that we brine with, it is the perfect beer to brine, but also to drink with barbecue. It's a Texas barbecue beer.
This would, because you can really taste that. And with barbecue, oh yeah, that would go phenomenally. All right, so what do we got next?
All right, moving on down the line, there's a Hay Street IPA. This is new on the shelf for us this year. I say new, we've had it at once, but now it is our year-round IPA. We've been brewing underneath the Hay Street Bridge for 7 years, so now we're happy to come out and have the Hay Street IPA be our year-round IPA. This one is very light in as far as the maltiness goes. We use some oats and some wheat in this to kind of give it a little bit more body to it, but it has a very nice hoppy, tropical, refreshing kind of flavor and finish. This goes great with spicy food, tacos.
On a tropical island.
There you go. Yeah, anything as such.
Okay. All right. And our next one here.
So moving on down the line, we have our Fiesta. Now we're getting into our seasonal beers.
So are these new? These are the new ones?
This is new, right? So this is our watermelon lager. It is a kind of reminiscent or our play of agua fresca, right? A watermelon agua fresca. Light lager, light, clean, easy drinking.
Oh, that's good.
Just a touch of watermelon. That is a pool,
it's very faint, but it's
patio
there.
pounder right there.
Yes.
Pool beer, river beer, lake beer, go into the water. That's the one. And this really, because nice, light, refreshing, can even go with dessert.
Yes.
It's a light, not to overpower it too much, but nice, just clean, refreshing, or a wonderful, summer salad, right?
All right, what's another new one?
Okay, moving on down the line, our beer on a stick. This is our Fiesta's coming up around the corner, right? So to Fiesta, beer on a stick. It is our Mexican style lager. Very traditional lager for us, but we use a little bit of corn in it. It can go great with, I'd say, grilled seafood, tacos, maybe some.
Do you have a go-to beer for yourself?
I tend to gravitate towards our standard Pilsner, our 18-pound Pilsner. This is a classic German-style Pilsner, and I think this beer is approachable for any style of food. You can drink this with a burger. You can have it with a steak. As a matter of fact, when I go and I have a steak and I want to drink a beer, this is what I go to, because this is just clean, easy drinking, approachable for everything, and it's a wonderful beer. You really get the crisp, clean flavors, slight bitterness, just perfect for pairing with any food.
All right, tell us about the event happening this weekend.
Okay, this weekend is our 7-year anniversary. So we'll be going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come celebrate with us. Friday night we're going to have karaoke. Saturday we're going to have street lamp performing from 6 to 9. And Sunday, 2 tons of steel playing from 3 to 5. Now during our anniversary we're going to be selling cans of our 18-pound Pilsner. It's a new release, as well as our Imperial Brown Ale. Bourbon barrel aged in Garrison Brothers Cowboy Bourbon barrels, brewed with mesquite beans and mesquite honey. And for a nice special there, we'll be able to buy a Pilsner and a commemorative glass of the mesquite bean. So come check it out.
Where you're located.
We are underneath the Hayes Street Bridge on the east side of San Antonio, just north of the Alamo Dome. So come check it out, and we hope to see you there.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we all get, tunes stuck in our heads, but what if you got a song stuck in your head forever? So our question of the day is, if you could hear the last song, or if you had to hear the last song that you heard on repeat for the rest of your life, what would that song be? Greg, what song did you last hear?
This morning on the way in, I was listening to Mr. Blue Sky.
So that would be it.
I guess so.
Mine would be the Ants Go Marching.
I like, okay, sure.
Hurrah. Okay, so let us know at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter, and we'll see some of those answers a little later in the show. All right, well, the anniversary celebrations continue with Las Palapas, and our Jen Tobias Trusky is at one of their north side locations right now. How's it going, Jen?
That's right. It's a birthday celebration here at the Las Palapas on 1604 and 281. They're celebrating their 1-year anniversary. And joining me now is Brad Peak, the Chief Analytical Officer for Las Palapas. Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming out today.
Good drinks. And how are you guys celebrating the birthday?
We have a lot of specials, a lot of fan favorites that they like. We're going to start out the week with $1 breakfast tacos, our regular breakfast tacos. All of our fans really like that.
And that starts Monday next week, correct?
Monday next week at this store at 281 and 1604.
All right, $1 breakfast tacos. You can't go wrong with that. And then on Tuesday, what do you have?
We've got $1 picadillo tacos and shredded chicken tacos, another fan favorite. These are homemade recipes that have been with us a long time, and our guests really enjoy that plate.
Those look amazing. I'm so sad I gave up tortillas for Lent. Okay, and moving on to Wednesday.
Well, Wednesday you can get $4.99 any cheese enchiladas, and this is anyone. The shrimp, the vegetable, the cheese enchiladas, the beef enchiladas, our verde enchiladas, anyone for $4.99. And these specials run all day on each one of these days.
Okay, good to know. And then you gotta have your nachos, right?
These are easy nachos to make, and it's one of our fan favorites that they like as well. And it's $1 queso nachos. They enjoy that, and it pairs up real well with something we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, something that people love. But
That's
yeah,
right.
$1 for nachos. You can't go wrong. All right, and this plate looks beautiful. It's making me hungry, by the way.
This is our Las Palapas special, and it's been on the menu for a long time as well. It's a fan favorite. It has certified Angus beef, and it's $7.99 on Friday. But I think, Jen, we're going to do this one all week at $7.99.
Shred that. Yes, rip it up.
Shred it. We're going to do it all week
all right, why
at
not?
$7.99.
And speaking of all week,
Yes,
the margaritas
ma'am.
are next.
We've got these margaritas. It's nice size margaritas for $1.99. You can add a flavor for $2.99. And this is for dine-in and drive-through. So like I was saying, those queso nachos for, I believe it's $1.
Yep.
This margarita for $1.99. It's a great $3 combination.
What a great couple, right?
Oh, yeah,
They pair
it is.
nicely together. And that's not the only thing. It's Lent season, so you have some specials, right, for that as well?
We've got Lent specials, shrimp tacos, fish tacos, shrimp taco plates, stuffed avocados. We have a lot of options that we add Las Palapas as
The
well.
stuffed avocados, those are so delicious. Now, what I love about Las Palapas is that every Tuesday is a Taco Tuesday. Tell me more about that, because I see those tacos over there.
So at Las Palapas every Tuesday, you can buy 2 tacos, and then your third one's going to be for free. So it's going to be here. You got a norteño, and you got also a beef fajita. So you're going to get another free beef fajita taco. And also on Tuesdays, we have $2.99 margaritas to go as well.
$2.99 margaritas. Now,
Every Tuesday.
okay, every Tuesday. I love Tuesdays. I'll be back on a Tuesday. But you also have a party happening because there's going to be a dance party, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So
Gotta get your dance moves ready.
Oki, our mascot, he's coming out of hibernation now from COVID.
Okay.
So he's been practicing his dance steps. So he's going to have a dance contest out here one night. Just stay tuned to our Facebook pages.
Okay.
And then he's going to be out here also next week with his prize wheel, and all the fans can win prizes.
Just a great time overall. Do you have a dance move?
Every spin's a win on the prize wheel.
All right. I was trying to get him to show me a little robot dance move, but I guess not. Now go to their Facebook page for more information. But you can celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Las Palapas at 281 and 1604 on the north side with a week of deals and specials all week long. For more information, visit mylaspalapas.com. And please come hungry, because I tell you what, can I take that, Brett?
Oh, you can have
Okay, I'm
take
taking
the
it back.
margaritas too.
All right, I'm taking that too. Fiona, back to you.
Look at that. I mean, dollar regular breakfast tacos. Oh my gosh, you can't go wrong. Thanks, Jen. All right, still ahead on the show. It's an all-new happy space. Rancho Diaz shares how you can spruce up your living space with greenery.
If I had to break 1,000 hearts, I would have broke them.
Plus, new Braunfels-based musician Austin Gillum joins us with an original song.